do you want to see Blake Griffin playing next season? Who will be the players to watch in the state's spring football games? And who won't we see in a Thunder uniform next season? From the Opubco Studios at Britton and Broadway in Oklahoma City, I'm Mike Sherman, and this is the Press Row. My guests, as always, are the columnist trifecta of Jenny Carlson, John Rohde, and Barry Trammell. Barry, let's start with you. Blake Griffin, the OU star, has declared for the NBA draft. Other than his hometown Oklahoma City Thunder, which team would you like to see him playing for next year?
Well, I'd like to see him go to the Washington Wizards for two reasons. One, selfish, get him out of the Western Conference. If he goes to somewhere in the West, it's just going to make the West that much more tough. Go to the East, the Thunder only has to see him twice, and he's not knocking them out of the playoffs. But for Blake's sake, Washington would be great because they're already set. I mean, they're a playoff team, and Agent Zero missed the year, so they sort of tanked it the way the Heat did last year without Dwayne Wade. But that's what the Wizards need, a big, tough power forward. They're set if they get Blake Griffin. So he would be off to a great start with Washington.
Well, I'm selfish. I haven't thought about anything but Oklahoma City. But if I had to, I'd say it's a small percentage because they're in the running for a playoff spot. But how about Charlotte go from Capel to Capel's father? And Larry Brown is his coach. I think that'd be intriguing to see how quickly he progresses under that scenario.
I'd like to send him to Sacramento because he declared on the day I was going to take a day off after the Final Four. No, I think he'll fit well no matter where he goes. I read something yesterday in the Minneapolis Star-Tribune that they were talking about, well, we've already got Al Jefferson, we've already got Kevin Love. Listen, wherever Blake Griffin goes, it's sort of the question of where would he play? He's going to play. He's going to play wherever he goes. Teams that have multiple big men, let's look at the LA Lakers. How much better are they with Pau Gasol and Andrew Bynum? So wherever he goes, whether it's Minneapolis or wherever, he's going to be just fine.
Now let me say this. Minneapolis would not be a bad place to win the lottery because that might make that would be one of the few chances Sam Presti would have to swing a deal if he's got the second or third pick to offer the Timberwolves along with some other incentives. Minnesota, because they do have Jefferson and Love, might think we can make this deal and get two good players and not take Blake Griffin.
That's what I was wondering. The Los Angeles Clippers, a team with a history of making bad personnel decisions, and they didn't get any better when Elgin Baylor left. In fact, they got worse. So what about the Clippers? They have a high percentage chance of getting the lottery. They're second worst record at this point right now. The Thunder's fourth, and that'd be a good trading partner.
Clippers have a lot of big men, too. Now, they're on the older side with Kaman and Marcus Camby and Zach Randolph and whoever else. But it's always good to trade with people who don't know what they're doing.
Well, and the other thing about it, just from an Oklahoma City standpoint, they can't see him in the Thunder uniform. Pick somebody in the Western Conference. Pick somebody in the Northwest Division that you can see him play twice a year.
Why do you want to see him play? Come and dunk on you? Hey, this is all hands on deck, my friend.
I just think the NBA fan in Oklahoma City wouldn't mind seeing Blake come on in, play two big nights at the Ford Center, big promotions. You think about the ticket sales. They sell players in the NBA. And the NBA, more than any other league, sells rookie stars.
I actually saw a guy the other night, the game on Tuesday night, I guess, wearing a Thunder jersey, number 23, Griffin on the back. Obviously a special-made jersey, but clearly fans, I think fans want to see this guy in a Thunder jersey. Now, I think that they've got a lot of leverage with the reserve players, some of the non-Big Three players that they could package up in a deal. So I think they've got some leverage to get something done, and I think fans would really enjoy seeing Blake in a Thunder uniform.
Everybody is praying the rosary to get Blake Griffin, but the day he becomes a Timberwolf or the day he becomes a Wizard or the day he becomes a Clipper is the day he's the enemy. He's like Chris Paul. Anytime he comes, we want him as far away as possible, and we want to beat his butt.
Okay, now there's been considerable debate, especially in our office, about what kind of NBA player Blake Griffin's going to be. Our good friend Tim Floyd, who didn't get the Arizona job, and you were praying the rosary for that, once said he could be as good as, what was it, Antonio Davis?
Or
one of the Davises, which kind of stumped me. And then there's people saying on the high side, Amari Stoudemire. So the question before us is this. You start, Jenny. What kind of NBA player is the guy going to be?
I think he's going to be a good one. And Jeff Capel made the point the other day that he could go right now to the league and have an impact as a rebounder. And I firmly believe that. I think he is, rebounding-wise, a guy that could walk right in right now and have an impact. He's going to have more space to operate because defenses can't collapse on him like the college and high school games. At least I don't think they will. I mean, he's not going to see the double teams that he saw and the triple teams that he saw in college. So offensively, he's going to have a chance to grow. I think we're going to see Blake Griffin do some things that he didn't have a chance to do in college. So I think he could be, I mean, I don't know about Amari Stoudemire. I don't know if you start to put him in that category, but I think he could be really good. And if he shows that range that he supposedly worked on this last year, I think he could be a great pro.
I mean, he showed great improvement from last year to this year. Next year, there's no study hall, there's no chemistry class or whatever class he was taking. And as Jeff Capel said, you know, when Chris Paul was at Wake Forest, he was great. When he got into the NBA, he became spectacular. Other players, Grant Hill, Darren Williams, Brandon Roy, those kind of players, and it's because of the spacing. And if you give Blake Griffin space, that helps him tremendously. I think he'll be terrific, Barry.
I don't really have any idea how good he's going to be. I would say somewhere between Karl Malone and Elvin Hayes is how good he's going to be, which he's going to be fantastic. He's going to jump higher than anybody in the league, virtually. He's going to be as strong as anybody in the league. Anybody under 6'5", anybody over 6'5", he's going to run just as fast as them. So the only thing you can do is pack it in and hope he goes out and shoots a 12-foot shot and misses. That's how he's not going to score in the NBA, if he misses 12-foot shots. But he's going to get 8 points a game on dunks. So he's going to be a fantastic pro. Is he going to be a Hall of Famer? I think there's a good chance. I mean,
well, he's between the two players you said he was.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. I mean, you know what? To me, he's like a Tim Duncan or Kevin Durant, which you don't have to. You don't debate whether he's going to be great. You debate the level of greatness he's going to reach.
This is why the Thunder must do everything within its power to get him. Exactly what Barry was just talking about.
We talked about that last week. We went around the table. Who would you be willing to trade? Jenny thinks there's a chance that you could package guys who aren't playing now. I don't know about that.
I mean, go ahead and if you want to package up Nick Collison or Christian, although I think that would be probably a guy might be sort of on the don't trade him because you need
I think
you need
they trade
big
him
men.
tomorrow.
But
and twice on Saturday.
Wow. Okay. Nenad won't be talking to you next time you see him, but I mean, obviously it's a package. It would be draft picks. It would be maybe future draft picks. It would be, I mean, I'm not saying it's a one-for-one deal. That's not happening. But I think if you're talking about package deals, don't give away the big three. Don't give away Jeff Green. Don't give away Russell Westbrook. Of course they're not going to give away Kevin Durant, but I think you stand pat with those guys, not just because of what they are playing-wise, but I think you've got such a good nucleus in the locker room already. Build around that. Would you add Blake Griffin? Absolutely, but not at the expense of those other guys.
At least they have something to work with. Draft picks and some
That's
veteran
right.
players
Absolutely.
and some affordable players.
Here's the key. The key on whether you can work a trade is that it depends on two things. It depends on how low in the lottery the Thunder goes, and it depends on who gets that first pick.
Right.
Because if it's somebody that knows what they're doing, like if it's Washington, don't even make a call.
Don't even call Ernie Grunfeld.
But if it's the Clippers, offer them Kristich. They might they're goofy enough to take it.
I think that 2010 Phoenix Suns pick is an intriguing piece to put on the table because the Suns are not going to make the playoffs. It's talk that Shaq wants to go play for Mark Cuban in Dallas.
Right.
You can see that thing being exploded, and then all of a sudden that's a lottery pick next year. Good golly, Miss Molly, that becomes a big key piece for them.